If you're here, it's because your nib, the tip of your drawing tablet's pen, is so worn down you can't remove it. Or can you? In this quick tutorial, I'll show you a couple of different techniques you can use to remove stubborn nibs using household items you probably have lying around. First off, if you are not an adult, please do not try this at home. Only do this with adult supervision. I do not assume any responsibility if you damage your device. Here's what you'll need: a pen with the nib so worn down that you can't pull it out, fingernail or toenail clippers, a push pen with a plastic handle, and a lighter. In many cases, a nib can be removed using the tool that came with your tablet. Usually this is a metal ring that clamps onto the nib. Other times it is a hole that is built into the tablet or pen holder that grips the nib as you graze the side of it. But today we are talking about nibs that are so far gone you can't even get at them. In order to simulate a nib that's worn all the way down, I'm going to use the nail clippers to trim off the nib. You would never want to let your nib wear down this far. If you want to know when to change your nib, I have a video about that. The good news is that it's not possible to wear a nib down beyond this point, so at least you got that going for you. The first technique I would suggest is to try to get at the nib with the fingernail or toenail clippers. If there's a tiny bit of nib still sticking out, you should be able to grab it. Just don't squeeze too hard or you may accidentally clip off what is left of the nib. If the nib is so worn down that you can't grab it with the clippers, or you didn't listen to me and you squeezed too hard, you can try the push pin and lighter method. Obviously, you should avoid coming into contact with flammable objects or vapors, and work over a protective surface with a plan for extinguishing a fire should that occur. The goal here is to use the hot tip of the push pin to melt a small dent into the plastic nib. Very carefully, without burning yourself and without catching anything on fire, use the lighter to heat the sharp metal tip of the push pin for 5 to 10 seconds. It doesn't need to be red hot, just warm enough to melt plastic. On that note, because this push pin has a plastic handle, the heat will transfer to it, causing it to gradually melt. Beware of metal handles because they may burn your fingers. Once the metal part of the push pin is hot, gently press it into the tip of your nib. Try to avoid the pen chamber surrounding the nib. You don't want to melt that. Once inserted into the nib, hold the push pin still for a second, but do not let it cool all the way or it may fuse to the nib and maybe even the nib chamber. Pull the push pin out and then let the metal cool. Watch out for the plastic handle because it may have melted and become detached from the metal pin. If necessary, get a new push pin. Once the plastic is solidified, use the tip of the push pin to very gently snag the nib from inside the dent you created. It may take a few tries, but eventually the nib should pop out. If not, you may need to melt the nib a little more and try again. Just don't take it to the point that you melt the inside of your pen. If all else fails and you are still not able to extract your nib, then usually you can purchase a replacement pen. In most cases, you must choose the same style of pen that came with your tablet. However, some tablets allow you to choose from a selection of compatible pens. I hope you were able to successfully remove your nib. Be sure to become a member and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more digital art tutorials like this. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.